So this is the image, and then we have the swiper slide transform, which has some content here. So let me see if the content is actually on the page. There's some console. Okay, fav icon. There's an error, but it's about fav icon. So when I click on this, let me inspect and click on this. So it's kind of hiding behind the scene and it's not showing at all on the page. So instead of using their custom, I could also check. Let me just ignore and use my own custom class name. But then I could also check and see the effect their class, that particular class we used, is bringing in. So I can target this class and then override some of the effects it's bringing. But because I wouldn't want to waste so much time on that, let's change this class name to our own class name and then use that instead. So let me say custom, I'll add custom swiper slide transform, okay, or custom swiper. So I'm changing the name to custom swiper, okay. So let me copy that and paste in all the other divs, so they will have the same class. And then let me see if we can be able to target that particular one instead. So we go into the base.css, change that, let me save. So when I save, I see the text below. So position absolute z index of that. Let me give it a width of 100% and also give it a height. Let me give it a height of 200 px, okay. Give it first of all, let me put it at the top and see. So top is going to be 50%. Let me use 50% at the top. I can see that. Okay, now it's here. It's because the page is dark. The other one is dark, so I couldn't see it. So it's now showing now. When I brought the top, it's showing. Okay, so it's there. So when I take, let me comment this. We'll use the top though. So you see, without the top, we can't see it. It means it's hiding at the down there. So we need to bring the top to actually center it here. And then we also want to do left of, let's say 50%. And then if you want it to be in the center, we'll transform, translate, transform, keep it in the center. We say transform, translate, okay, and then we'll give it a negative 50%. Then another negative 50%, I think so. Okay, so it stays in the center, okay. So we have it now. But let's increase the font size and then font size is 40 px. For now, let's just put 40 px there. Increase the font size. So we can go back now and uncomment. So let's go into the JavaScript and uncomment this. And then I'll go in here. Let me change this to slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, and then slide 4. So we have them. Okay, so a quick recap on what we have done so far, so others can now also fit in. So please, in the HTML code, I want you to do this for me. Below the image, you have your div. Okay, the div should have a custom swiper class. A custom swiper class, you can add it here. And then you need the same thing at the other side of the images. So you just copy and change the slide numbers. And then after doing this, you go into your CSS file and then target that custom swiper. Most of the times when you have multiple objects placed in one container, they may be placed on top of each other, or one may be pushed below the other because the other one is filling the container. Okay, so in order to make the one sit on top of the other, so you can see one as if it's in front of you and the other behind it, you need to position that element to be absolute. And then because due to position, some may be lying on top of the other, you would have to also arrange them based on the way you want them to show. And that is when we use the Z index, right? So you use the Z index to actually bring that element to the position, the place you want it to be displayed. So I use this value to ensure that it is placed at the topmost of the image. Maybe I don't need that higher value like that. Probably maybe 2 or between 2, 1 and 10 may do. But because I'm very unsure of the value they are using now, that's why I just use the 999 there. And then also I give it a width of 100% and a height of 200 px. A top, so because I'm setting it to absolute, I can now use the top left positions to actually push it to the area of the element or the parent I want to position it in. So we have top, left, right, and then bottom, but currently I'm using the top left. And then when I use the transform translate, it's going to perform a math in order to position the element in the center of that parent. Okay, because sometimes after using, we could use display flex and then use the margin auto or justify content to the center, but some of these elements also have those attributes already set. So once that has been set, you can use this transform translate to also position the element in the center of the parent. So that is what we have just done to actually put or position this element on top of the image. Now whatever content we want to put in there, we can do that. So let's go and then customize, but I want this slide to be at least towards the left. It shouldn't be directly in the center. So it means I would go in here and then do a lesser value for that particular section. So let me see if I do 20 to the left, it would actually push it to the position. Okay, 20 to the left is okay. So the position is okay now. So you can also adjust that so it doesn't go 50 to the center, it goes 20, so as if it is slightly placed closer to the left side. Now let's see what we can do in the content. Okay, right at this place we want to set a title. So it means we'll create the title. It's a div, but it will have a title, and the title is going to be an h2 element, and then we'll also have dot content session. So the content section, we want to put some lorem text there. So we'll put a p tag with a lorem text, just the basic standard lorem text. Okay, and then we also will create a button, so we'll call it dot buttons. Okay, let's just put one input type of button in there, and this thing is going to be learn more. So in the custom swiper, we could have even named this banner description or something. Okay, we could have even named that way instead of using the custom swiper, but no problem. It's just naming. We can always go back to change it. And then the first, we are even doing it in the second part. So the second image is what? Someone seated behind a laptop. So let's give it a title of personal research. Okay, so that's going to be the title for that particular section. Let's see. Okay, so you can see that this one, and then let's copy that whole thing here. We want to copy and replace repeat it here. So the first image is just like someone taking a note. Okay, so taking notes, let's say taking notes. Okay, then we'll go, so the first part, that's the first slide, we are giving it a title of taking notes, and then the content will maintain the same lorem text. Then here the button is also going to be learn more, and then it's of type button, but they are all in a div element with their various classes. Then we'll go to the third part. So this is the second. The third part will paste the same thing and change the text. So you can also use the same thing. I'm basing my decision on the images I have. So the third one is about what do I want to say? Group